Hi, I'm Vikki Reynolds. I'm an adjunct professor and a clinical supervisor, but mostly I'm a social justice activist, and my work is really trying to keep people who are working in the margins well and ethical so that we can be of use across time. So the idea of the zone of fabulousness, it's an alternative way to look at worker burnout. Instead of measuring the mental wellness of the worker, I'm interested in trying to center the person we're trying to serve, the person that gets called a client. So what I want to know is, are we holding ourselves close to our clients, or are we moving away? So what I think about is sometimes workers do get harmed in the work. I'm not denying that. But it usually falls out one of two ways. One way that people kind of enact burnout is by moving way too close to clients and getting enmeshed with them. And the other way that people kind of burn out is when they move way too far away from clients and get disconnected from them. And where we want to be is in the zone of fabulousness, in that center. And that's the place where we're connected, we're in line with our ethics, we're actually enacting our collective ethics for justice, we're collaborative with each other. And the person we're trying to serve is absolutely at the center. In the zone of fabulousness, that's where hope is. And in disconnection, that's the stealer of hope. Not only do they not bring hope, but they steal the hope of other workers, and they steal the hope of the people that we're trying to serve. All of my work is about bridging the work of social justice activism and community work. And if we worked more along the ethics of social justice activism, where there's a bunch of tenets that help us do that work, one being, it's amazing what you can get done if you don't care who gets the credit. You know, when you're working with ideas like that, I think this solidarity and keeping each other in the zone of fabulousness is what we've done as activists since forever. I don't think this is necessarily an idea I've had. I'm just trying to articulate this or give some kind of frame to what we've always done with each other. What we've always known is we need each other to do this work, and all we have is each other. So one way that folks burn out, if you want to use that language, is they move way too close to clients and they get taken with enmeshment. And this is where we start to create relationships that are way too intimate with clients, to the fact that they're actually transgressive. And when we're with enmeshment and we move too close to clients, sometimes workers situate themselves as heroes. And I always remind myself a hero is someone whose one parent is a god and one parent's a human. So it's a pretty undoable position. But these are folks who, you know, they work hard and then they keep just working harder. It's kind of like they're shoveling water. They feel really ineffective, so they just keep working. But they move so close into clients that they lose track of all kinds of boundaries, and they work like lone wolves. You know, these are folks who say things like, I had to take a client home because I'm the only person they've got. As soon as you start to think you're the only person they've got. They also really diminish the work of other workers, and they only take on the work that feeds them. You know, like you clean the toilets and you start doing the session notes because I'm going to talk to people because I'm really relational. They really like me, you know. So when folks get enmeshed, they move way too close to people, and those relationships can be really intrusive. If we think about trauma symptoms, they can be intruding and crossing the boundaries of people, and it's really not attainable. Like they can't keep going on like that. And so they become really ineffective, and they're the folks who, when they cross these boundaries, they can get organizations investigated and shut down. These are folks who sometimes lose their job because it's so obvious they've gone way beyond the pale, but really diminishing the work of other workers. And but the transgressions of intimacy make it very unsafe for clients, and they replicate things like sexual abuse, which is this real transgression of boundaries. So what's really concerning about this intrusive stuff, when folks get taken with enmeshment and moving too close into clients and getting enmeshed with them, is replicating things like sexual abuse. Safety is consistency and predictability across time. And so what happens, many of the folks we work with who've been oppressed, they understand what it looks like when someone transgresses boundaries. So as soon as one worker creates these special relationships, they have the one client they give cigarettes to, or the couple of clients that they take out for birthday lunches, people know there's a special relationship that they have with those clients. And then everybody in the staff team and everybody that we're serving knows there's transgressions of boundaries here. The other staff are doing nothing about it. This is what it's like. Most sexual abuse is not a man you don't know jumping out behind a bush with a knife. It's usually an uncle. It's usually a family member who's well known. They take you they create a special relationship with one niece or nephew, take them to the movies, buy them popcorn, put them on their knee, you know, have an erection, ejaculate, put the kid down, give them the popcorn. You like the movie, you like the popcorn, you didn't like the sexual abuse, you're really confused. That kind of like invasive boundary transgression, that's what it looks like. And when we start to have someone doing that on a staff team and other people don't stop them, it's really an attack on the safety of the whole community. And that's really the impact of that kind of enmeshment. Well, with enmeshment, people are bleeding all over everybody. In disconnection, people don't have broken hearts because they don't bring their heart to work. People become very disconnected. So they move way too far away from the people we're trying to serve, from the people who are called clients, and they get really disconnected from their own bodies, their own spirituality, their own community, other people. These are folks who use things like avoidance and numbing if we think about trauma symptoms. So these are folks who go home from work and have to have a couple of drinks to disconnect from what happened from the day. They don't stay with it. They don't work through it. They're disconnected. People who are taken with disconnection are often taken with ineffectiveness. They're not sure what they're doing is okay. They can get taken with massive negativity, and that negativity across time turns into cynicism. They're pissed about their organization. They're pissed about their coworkers, their managers. And when these folks keep up with that massive negativity and cynicism, what they're really doing is bullying. And these are folks, when someone brings a new idea, they got to nail that right into the ground. They're like, absolutely not. This new idea you have, we've already had it, we've already tried it, it's not going to work. This place isn't going to get fixed. And they use this negativity to keep everybody away, because what they don't want to show is their work or themselves, because they're so disconnected from all of that, right? When folks are taken with disconnection, they can even move. They are so about themselves that they can get to the place where they actually situate themselves as the victims of this work. So while we're in an opiate epidemic and people are dying, you can have some staff members talk about it's hardest on them. It just seems like an absolute inversion of power, but people kind of manage when they get with that much negativity and that much disconnection to start to see themselves as a victim of their work. So where we want to be is in the middle. We want to be in the zone of fabulousness. And I take that language from queer culture, which has meant a lot to me and added a lot to me. And I like the playfulness of that. There's a fluidity from queer theory. So the zone of fabulousness is not necessarily one place, but it's the place where the client is actually at the center. The person we're trying to serve is the person that's at the center. We're in solidarity with other workers. We're not being heroes, and we're not being the victims of our work. We're in the team. We're holding each other up. We're really connected to our collective ethics for justice doing with people. That solidarity that we have with each other means we are able to offer each other critique. And we're not looking at self-care so much. We're looking for our collective care. And collective care often looks like critique. We're going to keep each other with fabulousness so that when someone starts to slip out, we're going to kind of bring them back to those collective ethics that we serve, and that person's the thing at the center. When we're in the zone of fabulousness, we're in there together. You cannot keep yourself fabulous. That's really important. Everybody has great intentions. I always remind myself, nobody came to this work to hurt anybody. So if somebody's slipping towards enmeshment or disconnection, it's not where they want to be going. So my solidarity requires that I don't make them feel better about that, and I don't ignore that. I let them know about that. So we owe each other a terrible loyalty, right? And so when I see somebody leaving the zone of fabulousness, I need to offer them a critique, and I have to bring them back to what's fabulous. To do that, we have to have pre-existing relationships of respect and dignity. I don't care if coworkers like each other. In fact, sometimes it's not even helpful, because we smooth over differences between us and we don't prioritize the service we're doing to the people we're there to serve. So I want someone who's going to have the moral courage to invite me back to accountability to our collective ethics. That's what solidarity means in this moment, in terms of the zone of fabulousness. I really believe in solidarity. I really believe in group is always better than individual. So, the smartest social worker is not going to make as good a decision as 4 randomly chosen workers about anything. The conversations, if we can get into a dialogical space with each other that's actually centered in ethics, something emergent and possible is going to happen that can't happen from one smart decision, right? That's why not only is the zone of fabulousness the place to keep us alive in the work, but it's how we serve clients or the people we're trying to serve, how we do that better, more creatively, right?